Chapter 108 Ali Shenji. The group of ministers divided the seal. It took as long as 2 hours, of course. They were all some important ministers. Some minor officials were not yet here to divide the seal. When the division of seals came to an end, Wuxia carefully rolled up the gold silk scroll that was reported to the heavens. Holding the gold silk scroll in one hand and the heavenly divine seal in the other, he slowly walked down the altar, slowly walking towards the punching heaven hall. The group of ministers followed behind Wuxia and slowly walked to the great hall. The hall is 10 feet tall. The interior is extremely empty. The north position, there is a high platform. Wuxia slowly stepped on the steps up to the north platform, high platform, placed on top of a gold carving and casting of the dragon chair in general, extremely exquisite. Earlier the MC sent, just read the sealing of the imperial edict. Placed on a side table, Wuxia grabbed the heavenly divine seal and slowly covered it. Boom! The heavenly divine seal was stamped on, indicating that this sealing has had an effect from now on. Wuxia looked at the 2 columns of courtiers and slowly sat on top of the dragon chair. Greetings to the Emperor. Long live the Emperor. The group of ministers shouted long live divine continent Earth. Outside of an extremely ornate hall, Long Wanqing and Grandmaster Liu Nian slowly retreated from the Grand Hall. Grandmaster, what was that attitude of Grandpa's? Long Wanqing's face showed a complicated look. Hallmaster, His Holiness will have a ruling. Wait patiently. Master Liu Nian smiled bitterly, having just gone out. How could he dare to say anything? What was said? The great Jin sage inside could hear clearly. Ancient Sea nowadays should also establish a kingdom, right? I don't know if it's setting up a mortal kingdom or an imperial dynasty. Long Wanqing frowned. A mortal kingdom? Oh, I think Wuxia still can't look at it. It should directly sacrifice to heaven and earth and set up a royal dynasty. It's just that Wuxia nowadays, the foundation is too shallow. Even if it's a royal dynasty, it's also the weakest royal dynasty. Lunar Master bitterly laughed. The weakest imperial dynasty. Long Wanqing frowned slightly. The weakest? So weak that it's similar to an ordinary kingdom. How much territory does he have? How many subjects does he have? How many strong people does he have? Not to mention the imperial dynasty. If not for the ancient sea, with the state power of the dynasty he established. Take it to the divine continent Earth. Don't want the imperial dynasty. A small demonic beast tribe can wipe it out in a swarm. And a kingdom that is a little more powerful can push ancient sea's dynasty across the border. And it's only in the barbaric and barren land of the Thousand Islands Sea that ancient sea has this chance. Grandmaster Liu Nian laughed bitterly. At the very least, it's a royal dynasty. Long Wanqing shook her head. The duo slowly left from outside the Grand Hall. While in the middle of the Great Hall, 2 voices slowly came out. Your Holiness, this is the information that came from the Thousand Islands Sea. It's about the ancient sea. An extremely respectful voice rang out. After a moment of silence in the Great Hall, a majestic voice slowly came out. Ancient sea. Yet it is somewhat interesting. Where is Li Shenji now? The voice of the great Jin sage came out once again. Since the last time he was dismissed by His Holiness, he has traveled around the world, and recently seems to be fishing for turtles in the North Sea. An extremely respectful voice rang out. Fishing for turtles, HMPH. Pass on my oracle and tell him to reorganize the Divine Mechanism Battalion within 3 months. The voice of the great Jin sage came out. Yes. North of the Thousand Islands Sea, above a vast sea, dark clouds covered the area. Boom! With a loud bang, a monstrous tsunami rushed into the sky. Large swathes of whales were thrown away by the tsunami. In the midst of the lightning and thunder, there seemed to be a huge thing floating out of the sea. But it was a vast giant turtle. The turtle was 500 feet large, turning over the river. The entire sea seemed to listen to its orders. Ang! The giant turtle let out a roar. Endless sea water rushed to the sky. wrapping a figure in the center. Boom! At the center of the large water, there was a loud bang, and a purple-robed man's figure shot out. In the purple-robed man's hand, grasping a piece of golden tortoise shell in general, a palm blatantly struck out. A palm struck out. A 500 zhong huge palm dipper rushed down, as if it was going to flatten the entire sea, and the giant tortoise rumbled and crashed. Ong! Boom! The giant turtle's turtle palm slapped over. Immediately the two palms collided. The void rolled up a monstrous storm. The storm instantly appeared. Chaotic air currents, steeply formed for tornadoes, crazily sucking in seawater in a big way. Ha 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 ha, Mucken, this piece of Zhuanwu golden armor. I'll keep it for now. Or that. You are willing to serve me. I will return this piece of Zhuanwu golden armor to you. Ha ha ha. The purple-robed man rushed up into the sky and fled into the distance. Li Shenji, you thief, stop right there, roar. The giant turtle Mucken roared as he quickly chased after him. The rolling seawater seemed to listen to his orders and swarmed the sky with him. The purple-robed man turned his head, with a sense of pride in his eyes, and once again flipped his hand and struck with a palm. Boom! The human turtles struck each other, and were immediately separated by a distance. Flying high into the sky, between the clouds, it seemed as if there was a flying boat hiding. Boom! Li Shenji landed on top of the flying boat. Hurry up! Yes. The attendant on the flying boat answered with a shout. Shoo! The flying boat instantly turned into a stream of light and flew away. Li Shenji, shameless villain, roar. Above the sea, the giant turtle Mucken threw back his head and roared. The surrounding sea water rushed up into the sky, and countless sea fish all flew up high into the air and fell down. Rumble! After a while, the sea only calmed down because of the giant turtle Mu Chen's resting anger. Buzz! Mucken's body shifted and transformed into a big man wearing a brocade robe, his gaze cold as he looked at the direction where Li Shenji had left. Behind Mu Chen, a group of subordinates slowly appeared, standing respectfully behind Mu Chen. Elder Mu, my subordinates are incompetent. I didn't expect Li Shenji to be so insidious. He actually came for the supreme golden armor, a subordinate said with an ugly face. Mu Chen looked into the distance, his face grim. The supreme being has perished, but the fragments of the supreme being cannot be desecrated. Whoever dares to defile the supreme being's golden armor will die. Li Shenji is gone. What now? You guys guard the sea palace. I can sense the whereabouts of the supreme golden armor. He won't be able to escape. Humph, Mu Chen said with a glare in his eyes. Yes, shoo. As Mu Chen stepped, his body swayed and shot off into the distance. Above the flying boat, Li Shenji grabbed a golden fragment in his hand and looked at it carefully. Li Shenji, appearance and Li Haran some similarity. Although Li Haran's uncle, but the whole person looks more young in general, rather thin, hands long. The whole person looks as if a young man of about 20 years old, only eyes through an evil atmosphere. Family master. Is this the Zhuanwu golden armor? A subordinate looked curiously at the golden fragment in Li Shenji's hand. Zhuanwu golden armor. Back then, after Zhuanwu Supreme was condemned by the heavens, his whole body blew up. This is just a fragment of his turtle shell, Zhuanwu Supreme. Back then followed the old man of the game of chess together against the sky. Unfortunately, all lost. The old man of the game of chess was condemned by the heavens. The game of the sky pavilion, a dynasty of near total annihilation. He, this accomplice, naturally, also cannot get a good end. Zhuanwu Supreme. Zhuanwu Supreme. Rumor has it that his turtle shell is the strongest protection in the world. The strongest protection. So what? In front of the heavenly wrath, it is still shattered. Li Shenji laughed coldly. Grasping the Zhuanwu golden armor, Li Shenji gently waved his hand. Who are you? The surrounding area steeply condensed a general cloud of qi. Oh, not bad. This piece of tortoise armor, it can also call out the wind and summon cloud and water chi. Li Shenji said unexpectedly. Master, I heard that 800 years ago, after the Zhuanwu supremacy perished, the turtle and snake clan also suffered a great catastrophe, fell apart, a lot of strong people are scattered to the four sides of the divine continent Earth. A lot of turtles and snakes have been captured to do some of the clan's guardian beasts. HMPH, the success is the king, the loser is the enemy. It's not bad to be able to survive, but this Mao Chen is living alone in the North Sea, unwilling to enter the divine continent. He's quite stubborn, isn't he? But it doesn't matter. I'll slowly subdue him. A golden light flashed in Li Shenji's eyes. By the way, Hao Ren left the capital? Li Shenji asked. Yes, it seems like he volunteered to go to the Thousand Islands Sea, said he was going to protect Long Wanqing. That subordinate nodded. Long Wanqing, a first-grade hallmaster, Thousand Islands Sea, confused, stupid. Li Shenji's eyes narrowed as he said, Huh, doesn't he know about the death of first-grade hallmaster Long Xiaoyu? The water here, it's not normally deep, and he still dares to go through this mess. Moreover, the Thousand Islands Sea, although it's a few unimpressive clans, but don't you know that it used to be the territory of the Heavenly Pavilion? That is the land of heavenly wrath, a forbidden land. The old man of chess watching is dead. But this old demon, surely there are still countless calculations. That old demon's calculations, just any one of them, can make them never recover. Humph. Li Shenji said in a cold voice. Huh, what then? Quickly send a message to him. Tell him to get his ass back immediately. The waters of the Thousand Islands Sea was something he can probe, Li Shenji said in a cold voice. Ah, yes, my subordinate will go back and immediately pass on the letter. Speaking of the Thousand Islands Sea, it seems that there is also a Zhuanwu in the Thousand Islands Sea, right? Li Shenji frowned. Yes, but this Zhuanwu has split. Zhuanwu is a turtle and snake merged. This Zhuanwu, turtle body, snake body separated. It seems like they often battle, compete for resources, or want to reverse the ascension into a dragon. Evolve into a dragon race. Oh, when Zhuanwu Supreme was alive, who in the Zhuanwu race would want to evolve into a dragon? A dragon is a dragon. And a Zhuanwu is a Zhuanwu. The power of Zhuanwu is not weak to the dragon race. Li Shenji sneered. My subordinate also doesn't understand. There is nothing to not understand. When Zhuanwu Supreme died, the Zhuanwu clan's god was also given to the heavens to be extinguished. A clan's god was extinguished. A clan will only go into decline, wanting to give birth to a god again. I don't know how many thousands of years later, Zhuanwus are starting to give up their own clan's nature. When the decline really can't be stopped, Li Shenji said in a cold voice. Swoosh! The flying boat flew quickly, and after 10 days, it finally arrived above a piece of land. Very quickly, the flying boat landed at a group of palaces. And at this moment, outside the palaces, kneeling on the ground, was a group of people wearing mourning clothes. Many of them were in the midst of crying. Uncle, I implore Uncle to avenge my big brother's death. Uncle, my big brother died so tragically. Family Master, Haren was killed by a villain. What a tragic death. I beg Family Master to avenge Haren. A chorus of wails resounded outside Li Shenji's flying boat. Above the flying boat, Li Shenji's pupils abruptly shrunk, and he saw that a rough coffin was lying flat in the center of a group of kneeling people who were crying and howling.